Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a new tool from Google that might just completely change how you learn, research, and, well, how you think. It's called NotebookLM, and it's built to tackle a huge problem that I think we all face. You know that feeling, right? You've got a mountain of research papers, a long list of articles you save to read later, maybe even hours of lecture videos you're supposed to watch. It's the classic problem of our time. Just too much information.
But imagine this. What if you had a personal assistant that could consume all of that for you? An assistant that could then talk about it with you, pull out the key points, or even build a whole presentation from it. Well, that is the big, ambitious idea behind Google NotebookLM.
Now, this isn't just another chatbot like you've seen before. NotebookLM works on a totally different principle, something Google is calling grounded AI. And once you really get this concept, you'll see exactly why this tool is so powerful. So, what on earth does grounded mean? Well, simply put, NotebookLM is an AI partner that works exclusively with the content you give it. Think of it like a walled garden, a closed universe of information where you, and only you, control what's inside. It's not searching the whole internet.
And right here, this is the most critical difference. A general AI, like a standard chatbot, pulls its answers from the entire, vast, messy internet. And while that's powerful, it can also lead to what we call hallucinations. That's when the AI just confidently makes stuff up. NotebookLM is different. Because it's grounded, it's locked to your sources. Its answers can only come from the material you've given it, period.
And the result of that? Every single response is verifiable. The AI literally gives you citations with its answers. You can click a little number and it takes you to the exact sentence in your original document where it found that piece of information. This creates a chain of trust that's absolutely essential if you're doing any kind of serious work.
Okay, but what about your data? That's a huge question with any AI tool, right? Google is being very clear about this. The documents you upload and the chats you have with the AI are not used to train their models. It's all private to you unless you actively choose to share it.
All right, let's get into the features because this is where things get really cool. Imagine turning all your dense reading material into a dynamic spoken conversation that you can just listen to. That's the whole idea behind a feature called audio overviews. And the process is just incredibly simple. You add your sources, PDFs, Google Docs, websites, whatever, head over to the studio panel, and with a single click, it starts generating. You can even tweak it, tell the AI to focus on certain topics or to keep the whole thing under 10 minutes. And what you get back isn't some boring robotic voice just reading text back at you. No, it's a surprisingly natural conversation between two different AI voices. They discuss, they explain, they even kind of debate your material. It's perfect for learning on your commute or at the gym, and it honestly makes even the driest subjects feel pretty engaging. But what if you're more of a visual learner? Someone who needs to see the ideas. Well, NotebookLM has you covered there too with a feature called Video Overview. This takes that same core idea but pushes it a step further. It transforms your research into a fully narrated video slideshow. It's kind of like having your own personal analyst who creates a visual briefing for you on demand in seconds. And this is where it gets really clever. The AI doesn't just read a script over a blank screen. It actively scans your documents and pulls out existing images, charts, and diagrams to use in the slideshow. And even better, if there isn't a good visual for a complex point, the AI will often generate a new one from scratch to help explain it. It's not just summarizing, it's synthesizing information visually. So, that's all the cool technology. But what does this actually look like in the real world? How would you use this thing day to day? Let's run through a few examples. For any students listening, this could be a total game changer. You could upload your lecture notes, a link to a YouTube video from your professor, a chapter from a textbook, and then just ask NotebookLM to create a study guide or explain a tough concept in simpler terms, or even generate a practice quiz for you. In a business setting, wow, the efficiency gains here are massive. Imagine feeding it a dozen dense market research reports and just asking for the top 3 strategic takeaways.
or uploading technical product specs to instantly create a personalized prep doc for a huge sales meeting.
And it's not just for work and school. You could plan an entire vacation by just dumping in a few travel guides and asking it to build a day-by-day itinerary. Or, just for fun, turn a handful of articles on a topic you're curious about, like ancient Rome or something, into your own personal podcast.
Okay, so you're probably wondering how you can get started. There are a couple of different tiers, so let's quickly break down the fine print, the limits of the free and paid versions. As you can see, the free standard version is actually really generous. You get a lot of room to play around with personal projects. The Pro or Enterprise tiers, those are really for the power users or teams handling massive amounts of research. They seriously boost your source limits and let you generate a lot more audio and video. Plus, they add cool collaboration features like chat-only sharing. That means you can share your AI expert with a colleague so they can ask it questions, but without ever giving them access to your actual private source documents. Pretty smart. So when you zoom out, what's the big picture here? A tool like this, it feels like more than just a productivity hack. It really points to a fundamental shift in how we interact with knowledge itself. This right here is the key idea. We're moving from passively viewing media, just reading an article or watching a video, to actively using that material for knowledge production. You're not just consuming anymore, you're creating something brand new. A summary, an outline, a connection between ideas that you hadn't seen before. Ultimately, NotebookLM transforms that static folder of PDFs and documents on your computer into a dynamic, intelligent knowledge base, one that you can actually talk to. It's less of a tool, and it's much more like a true thinking partner. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. We all spend our lives collecting information, right? Taking notes, saving files, bookmarking links. If that entire collection suddenly woke up, if it had a mind of its own and was ready to chat, what's the very first thing you would ask it?